In this video, I'm going to do something interesting. I'm going to take the results of the YouTube polls that I've been publishing on the channel, and I'm going to show you how I use Google's Gemini to figure out what I can do with this data so that I can create even better content for you. So let's get to it. The reason why I'm doing this is because I want you to be able to better understand what AIs can and can't do. And I'm going to make a series of other videos that are like this in order to help you better understand and use these AIs. One of the videos coming up is going to be about how to use AI to interview yourself in order to solidify a business plan or technical documentation for an app. So let's get to it. Let's review these YouTube polls. So I'm going to Gemini and I've already pasted the results from these polls. So I'm going to copy and paste them into Gemini and I'm going to say, I've been publishing polls to my YouTube channel. Here are the results so far. Help me better understand how to use this information to serve my audience. And then I've just pasted all of the results. So of course I'm using 2.5 Pro. And I got very lucky. A friend of mine gave me a 3-month free trial for Google's AI Pro package. I was already paying for Workspace. And I'm coming up close to the end of the subscription, and I'm gonna definitely continue to subscribe and start paying for it because it's been fantastic so far. So Gemini says, of course, this is an excellent collection of data. By analyzing and synthesizing these poll results, we can build a clear picture of who your audience is and what they want from your channel. Here's a detailed breakdown of the insights and actionable content strategy based on your polls. So the core audience are aspiring entrepreneurs who are planning to start a business, likely in the e-commerce, consumer brands, or SaaS tech and AI. I knew that a lot of people would be aspiring entrepreneurs. What I find interesting is that they're more focused on e-commerce than SaaS tech and AI, because obviously I'm pretty heavily focused on AI. But knowing that, I'm going to do a little bit more in the e-commerce, interviews and see what I can do in that space in order to better serve the audience. So obviously founder interviews are the most interesting content that people like. People want more interviews with seasoned serial entrepreneurs, which I'm already doing. So I'm going to continue to do founder interviews with seasoned serial entrepreneurs. No problem. Viewers' goals is they want actionable tactics they can use today. And since they're aspiring business owners, that'll be interesting for me to try to figure out what to do with, because they may not be able to use the information, right? If I'm interviewing someone that's doing 7, 8, 9 figures a year and you're starting a business, that information is something that you kind of bank in your memory and use later on, hopefully. So I don't know exactly how that can help, but I'll do my best. There's a massive interest in live coaching sessions, which I do some of those, and I haven't been posting them, but I have been posting my interviews with AI agents, and I definitely should do more of those. So I will. The audience is against live stream Q&A. I'm kind of surprised that there's this lack of interest in live stream. I figured that people, they know that I have experience, right? I'm interviewing all of these people that have experience. I also have a lot of experience in business. And so it's kind of strange that the audience isn't interested in hearing more of my experience. They're not interested in asking me questions directly, but then it's interesting that they want to watch me coach other people. So that's kind of funny. Okay. So they're an aspiring entrepreneur. 18% are current founders who are doing less than $100,000 a year. So foundational 0 to 1 concepts rather than complex late stage scaling issues. Okay, cool. They're most fascinated by leadership and people management content and the future of business content. I love future of business content. It's one of my favorite types. As you know, I'm doing a lot of AI-based content, and so I'm able to do a lot of the future of business based on that because I'm interviewing people that are dealing with AI agents and other kinds of, businesses now. And I think AI agents are truly the cutting edge of AI at the moment. So they're forward-thinking, ambitious. They just aren't just thinking about the how, but also the who they need to become as leaders. Okay. Overwhelmingly e-commerce and then SaaS and tech. So we should prioritize those. Okay. Double down on founder interviews. Continue doing that. Okay. Yeah. So we've already done that. So pillar launch live coaching sessions as a high potential new format. So this is quite interesting because I might be able to invite some of the guests that I'm interviewing to be able to do coaching sessions with me. That could be an interesting idea. I'll have to think about that more. And then continuing with AI. Okay, so what's most interesting for me now is obviously I'm going to look at these ideas. I'm going to take them, but I want to go from here. Tell me 30 more polls that I should be publishing on YouTube so I can get even more information from the audience that can help me to create even better content by getting to know them more. See, this is what's valuable. It's not just it saying you should do this kind of content, but also, how do I get more information that gives me better ideas on top of what I'm already doing? So this is what I wanted to show you, is this thinking process that going a deeper level. So now it's starting to give me, so something that I'm going to tell it right now is that it's giving me 4 options. And the problem with 4 options is that it's generally too many options for people, right? If you understand sales and marketing, typically people start to get lost when there's more than 3 options. And so 3 options is typically optimal. So what I'm going to tell it now is give me all of these polls again, but only with 3 options instead of 4. So now it's going to do it all over again. Whoops, sorry AI, you're you're drinking a bunch more water. But this is super important, super valuable for me to be able to offer you less options so that you can be more focused on the answers you give me so that I can then turn around and, have information from these polls that are more valuable, right? So something that's really important to understand with AI is that it's never going to give you the right thing exactly the first time. And so it's a conversation. Right? You have to talk with it. You have to better understand it. You have to see where it's coming from. Sometimes it understands exactly what you want, but then you need to tweak it just a little bit, like I've done with the 4 polls. The 4 changing to 3 options. And it agrees, of course. Yeah, of course. Simplifying to 3 options can increase the response rates and provide clearer signals. So here are 30 polls. What's the thing holding you back from starting your business? Well, that's a good question. I'm curious to know. What business skill do you feel you need to improve the most? What is the ultimate entrepreneurial dream? I don't know if I'd ask that question. How much capital are you planning to start with your business? I don't know if I would ask that question. What's the most intimidating part of starting a business? I think that's the same as right? So it's giving me 30. And that doesn't mean I'm going to use all 30, right? So now I have to go through and get rid of the ones that are not going to be valuable. So that's something that I'm going to do off camera. But I think this is a pretty good start for a video of getting to understand how you can give AI data and use it to play around with to better understand what you're doing. So like I said, the next video is going to be, I'm going to throw an idea at the AI and ask it to interview me about this idea so it can come up with a business plan and or a technical document. I'm not sure if it's going to be a business plan or a software plan. We'll figure that out together as I do it. So I'm also planning on doing more vibe coding. I have a business idea, an app idea that I've already done the technical documentation for off air. So I'll do the video about the AI prompting you for the interview, and then I'll go and then start the video series about that. So thank you very much so far for supporting me and sharing your your answers from the polls so that I've got this content to work with, so that I can better understand you. And I will continue to ask polls, and I appreciate you continuing to answer them, and I will continue to use them to continue asking better questions. So see you from Vietnam.